Monica. First of all, congratulations on making it all the way to the end of the game.
Amazing, amazing.
Did you ever think on day one that you would make it to the final three?
No, I thought on day one, Brad is going to make it to the final three. Not the 43-year-old mom.
And what was that experience like for you? Because it was a rough road for you as far as some of the comments were concerned.
You know what? It was probably the roughest road of any player that's ever been out there. And normally people strategize and talk strategy, and there were numerous personal attacks against Monica out there. And I just... I taught my kids, never give up. You can bend, don't break. And I just kept pulling myself up by the bootstraps every day and saying, you can do this, you've got to stay. Quitting is not an option. And no matter what they say, it's just words. And it was a wonderful opportunity to show other kids that, people are going to talk smack and just use it as fuel to get to the end, and that's what I did.
I don't know if you could hear it where you were tonight, but the audience at that tribal council where you were going to make that decision to have a tie vote and Tina and Gervase square off in a fire-making challenge, the audience was really hoping that would happen. What made you decide not to do that?
You know what? I had been personally attacked by everyone from the time that it was my choice in those tribals, from Hayden, from Sierra, from Tina. And it wasn't just strategy, it was mean, hurtful things that actually affected me so much that when I got home, I was hurt and I felt inside out. And I just felt like I want to sit at the end with two people that have been kind to me the whole time, and I just felt more comfortable with Tyson and Gervase. Not to mention, if Tina won that fire-making challenge, who beats Tina Wesson? And I meant what I said in my final tribal. She had no blood on her hands. She was not a part of any single vote of any jury member, and she's Tina Wesson, and I can't beat her. So my thought was, this is your time. Drag the two biggest gangsters to the end and hope that the jury's mad enough at them. They throw more than one vote your way, but one vote was all it took to get second place, which is a win for me.
Were you surprised by the jury reaction in your direction? Did you expect more votes from them?
You know what? It was about 3 hours out there, and it was just personal attack after personal attack after personal attack. Jeff Probst is the 21st player. He makes up questions for people because he wants to get inside them. And at one point, I really threw up my hands and I said, I really don't know what you people want from me. I'm just nice. And maybe you haven't really met a nice person, but the station I am in life, the position and fun that Brad and I have had, I was thankful to get to that point. And I think it weighed on people's minds that it wasn't going to change me, that I didn't need the money, and I did the best I could do with what I had and what the situation was out there.
Do you have any hard feelings still?
I remember what people said, but it's just a game. And that's what everybody forgot out there. And they let it get personal. They let the harshest conditions in the most brutal game ever made become personal. And they personally attacked me. And I felt like I just took it to a higher level by not letting that bother me and just not jeopardizing my integrity, and just realized, guys, it was a game. Some true feelings of yours came out, whether you meant them or you didn't. It's all right. I'm happy where I am. I'm happy my station in life, and doing the best I can do.
What do you think was the most powerful play you made in that game?
Gosh, there were a lot of powerful things I felt empowered by. Winning the most individual immunities was phenomenal. Being the first woman in history to ever win the food challenge was phenomenal. I wanted to play an honest game, and I did. I made two promises out there, one to Tyson and one to Gervase, and I got all the way to the final three without breaking a promise, and that meant something to me. I'm at a different place in my life, that I'm a mom, I'm a mentor for kids in our town. I'm philanthropic, and I just really wanted to be honest and nice, and I felt like that shined through. And had I gone with Hayden, had I gone with Sierra, I was number 4 or number 5, and I make that big move right then, and now I'm the biggest target in the game because I've won the immunities. The Hayden's called me the most selfless person there, and now I've made the biggest move. And the climate out there was such that Hayden was Mr. Congeniality, and he would have probably gotten the credit that, man, that guy's so manipulating, he even made Monica switch. I never felt like I could just get it and switch it. So why not drag the biggest gangsters in the game to the end and hope I get the votes? Hope that they feel like Russell and Natalie got the win.
Was Hayden close to getting you to switch? How close was that?
It was not close at all.
Wow.
It was not close at all. I listened to everything they said and I walked away. What I was more dealing with was mending myself and saying, you can't quit, you can't walk away. They're making it really personal and they're really hurting you. Dig deep. What kind of grit do you have? Stick with it and stay true to what you believe in, because in the end, you want to sit between people that you're genuinely happy that they win. If I can't win, which is of course my first choice, if Tyson or Gervase win, I'm genuinely happy for them.
Well, and you said a lot of this experience was for yourself to shine, because it's always been about your husband being in the national spotlight in the NFL.
Sure.
Do you feel like you achieved that?
Above and beyond, and it's been awesome to watch it with the kids and with Brad. And they said something to me when I kind of told them what was going to happen, and they said, "Mom, you've always been a rock star to us, and whether you play Survivor or you don't, whether you get voted off first or you win, you're still a rock star." And Brad said this to me, "Honey, this just in. I knew you were a badass 21 years ago when I asked you to marry me. No change."
All right. And since you had such a rough road, would you go back and play the game again? Would you put yourself back in that position to face that kind of commentary from others again?
Jeff asked me the same thing, and I think at this point in my life, I'll give someone else a chance. I don't really know how I can improve on 3 individual immunities in a second place. To go out there, I feel like I already won getting to the final 3. A scrappy 43-year-old mom, that never happens. And at this point, I think I'll give somebody else a shot.
All right, last quick question. I know I already said last question, but I have one more. When Colton quit, how excited were you?
I don't know that I was overly excited when he quit, because not only did it mess up my game because I was with him, he's funny as hell. And it is fun to play Survivor and get some laughs. But I potentially thought, when anyone quits, I don't know who Brad's with on the other side. And it looked like he was with guys. So when Colton quit, it affected my husband. I know that those guys were together, and he quits, and that was not good for Brad. And look what ended up happening, because Jeff is the 21st player out there, and there was no one ever voting Brad out. He was 5 guys to the end, and Jeff kept peppering him and peppering and peppering him with questions at that tribal, and said to Caleb, or said to Brad, "Do you ever think about voting somebody off that doesn't have a loved one in the game?" And Brad answered it and said, "Yes, that does weigh on me, because every time we walk into Redemption Island, people are screaming obscenities at him, even though the vote is 6-1. They're blaming him, Mr. NFL, that it's his fault." And so anyway, it just when Colton quit, it's a very selfish move for him, but it affects other people's games. And it affected Brad's game, it affected my game. And there's an honor that you get to be chosen to play. And there's a level of disrespect to other players that would give their eye tooth to play again. And for you to walk, you took that chance from somebody. And that's hard to deal with if you're a Survivor fan, lover, and player.
With a simple yes or no, did Colton quit the first time?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, well, it was great talking to you. Very nice to see you again. Congratulations.
I really appreciate it.